Hey, powerful people. This is Jay, just coming to you to send you a video during your COVID-19. Most of us are sheltering in place. If you're an essential worker, bless you, and I appreciate you. And for those of us that are sheltering in place, I thought one of the things that is definitely coming up for me and might be coming up for you, and it's a great opportunity to flex your muscle around, is making requests. So now that you are staying at home, and some of you may be staying at home with a spouse only, or with a spouse and children, and things like that. And one of the things we talk about in the Lean Inside book and in my work constantly is learning to be someone who knows how to make a request. And often we talk about this in the sense that I'm always asking you to give up complaining and to have your words essentially show up as part of the solution rather than part of the problem. But making requests is part of that, because if you have a complaint, clearly you have some idea you think could be done better. And so instead of complaining, I invite you to make a request. But I just read this article recently about the difference between people who are askers and guessers. And apparently guessers are people who have you guess at what they want, right? So that they won't come out and say what they want, but they'll hint at it, and then you're supposed to guess at what they want. So if you're a guesser, I want to challenge you to stretch yourself to be more clear. And if you are an asker, good on you, and you want to keep that up. And especially during this time of COVID-19, when you are trapped at home with people, making clear requests is so important, because we have to take extra energy right now to do almost anything outside the house. If we need groceries, if we need anything at all to bring into the house, we have to go an extra mile to go out and get them, or find a way to have them delivered and then wipe them all down. And there's just a lot going on. And so if you need help with things around the house, if you are good at making requests, it's a lot easier than hinting or doing things backsided, in a passive aggressive way. I promise you, the passive aggressive way is manipulation, and it doesn't work well for long. So learning to make requests, boy, this would be a great time to start flexing your muscle around that. Now, some of the issue with making requests is that some of you are just not clear about what you want. And so how can I ask for what I want if I don't know what that is? Well, the other thing that we've talked about in Lean Inside is learning to take baby steps towards identifying what you want. Now, some of us have been trained out of the ability to ask for what we want pretty early on. We were told as little kids that we couldn't have what we want, or we had parents that were guessers and had us learn to try to interpret their moves so we knew how to be and how to act. If you're somebody like that, then you may not even know what you want sometimes. And this is a great opportunity when you're not surrounded by a ton of people to start really listening to yourself. And I mean really listening. And listening with tiny baby things, like, what do I want to have for dinner? Now, you may want to have something for dinner you can't get right now, but it's like things like that. What do I want to do in the next hour? If don't have a deadline, or you really want to take a nap, or you want to work out, or really check in with yourself. What I can promise you, and I've done this with so many people for so long, I've been coaching a long time now, and many, many, many clients I have put on the hook to only do what you want for the next 2 weeks. Most people can't figure that out. It's very difficult for people to do exactly what they want. And initially, when I give that assignment, people say things to me like, well, I don't want to do my dishes. And so I say, don't do your dishes. Here's what I know is your highest, best self, that part of you that really is not your small, but your higher self, doesn't want to live in squalor. So eventually you're going to want to do the dishes. You just will, especially if you're unless you have you're not being well or you're depressed or something, you're going to want to do your dishes. So if you do things when you want to do them, I promise life is a lot easier than forcing yourself or working against resistance and doing things that you don't want to do. So this is a perfect time to start practicing, figuring out for yourself, what do I want? What do you want? What do you want to do in the next 15 minutes? What do you want to do in the next hour? Do you want to get out some crayons and color? Awesome, do it. Whatever it is, honor your own requests and then start to learn by baby steps. Maybe ask for things that aren't big, like just small things. Ask for someone to put their dish in the sink in a nice way, or just go put their dish in a sink in a nice way if you want that done. But making requests is so powerful. And if you can make requests and not have people guess at what you want, I promise you're going to be way better off in the future as we come out of this pandemic and move back into the real world. If you have shifted your muscle around making requests, you're going to be a lot more powerful on the other side. So I hope you'll take that into consideration. We're doing calls at 11 a.m. on Mondays and Fridays, and I hope you'll join us for those. They've been some pretty powerful calls. We've got people coming on. We're there to just love on you, connect, and remind you that there is a power within you that is greater than any circumstance before you. And we're there to remind you of that. We're there to remind you of some of the tools that we have from the Lean Inside work. And so I hope you'll join us. Thanks for listening.